Okay, today's verse is from James chapter 1, verse 2 to 3. So, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Perseverance. And this is from James chapter 1, verse 2 to 3. Okay, so James is. So the letter of James is a collection of practical instructions. So practical instructions is something that is like very rare to find uh, in the book of the Bible because basically it's not many things that is very practical. A lot of things it's not very practical to achieve in the Bible, and thus we always end up in having sinful uh, nature because you cannot be so blameless at all times. Anyways, when they say practical instructions, I think that is very interesting that we can look into, and it's written to all God's people scattered all over the world. So the writer uses many vivid figures of speech to present instructions regarding practical wisdom and guidance for Christians' attitude and conduct. From the Christian's perspective, he deals with a variety of topics such as riches and poverty, temptations, good conduct, prejudice, faith and actions, and the use of tongues, wisdom, quarreling, pride and humility, judging others, boasting, patience, and prayer. So this the letter emphasizes the importance of actions along with faith in the practice of Christian religion. Interesting, right? Whenever they start to say practical instruction, especially from the Bible, I think is something that we can spend more time meditating, but of course not to. You see lah, you can see the outline lah. You just have to make sure that you see the introduction. Okay, so chapter 1 verse 1 talks about introduction. What is James trying to explain to us? Then from chapter 1 verse 2 to 8 then it talks about with faith and wisdom. Faith is easy to say lah, must have faith, but it's always when you see someone with disabilities, you see someone suffering, and of course then you realize that but at least they chose to have faith lah, rather than giving up and abandoning or giving up altogether. And Because when you don't give up, right, you tend to have something called whether or not there's a when you don't give up, there's a price of not giving up. It's called trust lah. People trust you, and you yourself gain some wisdom to handle certain things, to convince yourself not to give up. Because to be able to convince yourself not to give up, that means you have to think positively and um, even do things to comfort yourself. And when you are able to achieve that, basically nobody can stop you for anything. And this is a very deep-rooted faith that a lot of pastors have. Even they talk about Bible for a long period of time, and they are still in the same position, serving the same people, and all this create perseverance, which is very rare to find. I mean, it's good to listen to, especially from people like me um, who is taught to bounce around, who's taught to go different areas to explore, and you cannot stay in one place. So I think that somehow it's just from my perspective, I think this is very respectable. And of course, that's why this is the verse also very important, that consider it pure joy. Must be it is pure as a honey. Pure, pure joy. Brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produce perseverance, and perseverance is something that is, I think, that is a mark of achievement. And sometimes you tell people that, hey, I've been working for this company for almost 50 years. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I've been preaching for Bible almost 20 years. There is some level of they will give you some level of achievement. Hey, I'm a boatman for almost 30 years. Every day I go out 5 times a week. I go out. Hey, I'm working for this company. Every day I work 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. Every day for the past 10 years. These are the things that is very when you listen to it, it gives you that that confidence and trust, that you are strong. You see, you are able to muscle, so able to achieve great things. And so but of course always is it's always easier said than done. Easier said than done, because of course there's always a trade-off on what are you going to trade off. But I don't like to see it this way, because Jesus cleanses us. So whenever you think, oh, there's a trade-off, there's a this and there's a that, it's not for us to decide. End of the day, God decide our faith. God decide. Although sometimes we tend to be a bit more careful about what we do. Careful about what we do, because like Paul like to say that they don't put burden onto others. They want to be burden of others, but then again, sometimes I think back, there's a trade-off, there's a price to pay. But then again, if you keep thinking there's a trade-off, there's a price to pay, it's very hard to live your life. So rather just spend what you need to spend. You need to spend. do what you feel is good. Well, sometimes after a while, you start to put yourself into a stage whereby you are forcing yourself, because sometimes if you are able to convince yourself, and if that job is so important that you the whole company will collapse without you, the whole world will collapse without you. You cannot, you when you perform, uh, and it's like that kind of situation whereby you that kind of mutual trust and relationship, that you cannot live without one another, that kind of feeling, and it makes you want to wake up earlier, do more things, do what you need to do. These are the things that, uh, I think for me, I'm looking for that kind of thing lah. When you wake up, you have that eagerness to do it, you have that strength to do it. And oftentimes I don't have this kind of thing on. But when you see these trials of many kinds, because when you say when you face trials of many kinds, they consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. He didn't say you overcome the trials. It could be avoid the trials. You avoid certain trials and you avoid certain. Because they always say face your fear, right? Face your fear. Face your fear. And it's a good thing to face your fear. Sometimes God will provide a way to face your fear. Sometimes when you avoid it, right? Sometimes they avoid it, right? Because it didn't say that you face trials and tribulation of many kinds. The face does not mean that you have to overcome it. You see, sometimes you face, you can choose to, uh, maybe this is not for me. Maybe this is not what I am supposed to do. Then you avoid it. It could be this matter, because sometimes to avoid it, to avoid confrontation, it's not easy, especially when people are, those like a bit more hot-headed, and they face some problems. They want to get into a fight. They want to go into that kind of argument. But when you avoid it, it's also part of, at least you don't regret what, last time, I should have done this, I should have done that. But you look back, actually, you don't regret anything, because at the end of the day, things still went back to normal. Things still go somewhat according to what you feel is correct. Although um, there are still many things that there are things there are still there are, there are things that uh, will look better, will look good if you have it, but if you don't, but it may not. How to explain? It's like, it's good to have $1 million right now. It looks good, right? It feels good to have so much money, but do I need so much money now? Uh, can I have so much money now? But it looks good, right? It's always good to have a lot of money, right? But you don't have it right now, then what are you going to do? You can only think positive, but okay, now you can earn $1 million. Go and buy 4D, go and buy Toto, go and do some trading, illegal trading, and you overcome already what? This kind of trials and tribulation, you overcome the fear of not doing it, getting this kind of gambling or something like that. Or you can look, and you avoided the temptation. That kind of trials and of many kinds. But anyways, for me to be talking about the Bible is already considering surrendering to God already, what? So more or less, for me to say all this, it's not that, last time I would Whenever I face any problem, I will try to solve it as much as I can. Of course, sometimes when it comes to relationship, that kind of entanglement is not easy to untangle. It takes a long time to untangle a relationship and to make things right again. Um, so, but over time, you look back, actually, it's been a long journey. Just that slowly, you go and find your way. You can find your way again, and things still like slowly get back to normal. And you hope that it continues that way, and you can remain motivated. I think that is very important. But anyways, I think that yeah, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kind, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Okay, there's a price to pay for everything, but Jesus removed these trade-offs, because then you face your fear, or you can avoid it, because you know that it's better for you, better to avoid certain things. Uh, because right now my idea is to faster go and find a lot of find ways to earn money, but it's not possible. How to get this kind of thing done? But uh, yeah, so sometimes also have this kind of uh, setback on just not the right time to do it. You see, and we are not trying to compete and be better than God. God has His own pace. He can only approve us of certain things if He thinks that it's the right time. But of course, uh, being in a democratic kind of situation, we also must behave in a democratic way lah. And try to make things, arrange things so that you can only pray that things will become, improve. And today's message is James chapter 1 to 3, chapter 1 verse 23, 2 to 3, and then it's a practical instruction. Hopefully, this will be a good message. All right, good night.